In this video we will be making this model of a gate in which the sides can be twisted. We are using a generic model for this. At first we have to make a profile for the side. Open a template for a profile. Place two reference planes, one on either side of the central planes at equal distances from the central plane. Place a lined dimension between the three parallel planes and press equal symbol to make them equidistant from the central plane. Place a lined dimension between the two planes and assign a new parameter. Repeat the same for the other sides as well. Create width and depth parameters for the profile. Select Line from the Create tab and pick Line tool and pick all the four sides and lock. Pick Fillet Arc tool and fillet the two sides and place an arc. Also lock the side locks of the arc. In the same way, fillet other corners and assign the same radius parameter to all of them. Check to see if all the dimensions are working. When the radius of the arc is equal to or more than the half of the width, the model does not work. To counteract this, we create a condition statement. First, create a new parameter x. Assign some value to x. Write rad PR equal to the condition statement. This will make sure that whenever the radius is more than half of width of profile, it is replaced by a number which is 10 less than this number. Create a new file into which this profile will be loaded. Open a generic model template. At the front elevation, place reference planes as shown. Make them equidistant and create a width parameter for the width. Place a lined dimension between the top reference plane and the reference plane at the level 1 and create a height parameter for the height. Place a semicircular arc at the top reference plane as shown with its center at the intersection of the middle plane. Lock the arc to the plane. Assign a radius parameter to the arc and write radius is equal to width divided by 2. Place lines as shown at the reference planes. Create a sweep. Select the arc for the path. Go back to the first file of the profile and load it into this file. Press the Select Profile icon and from the drop-down select the profile that we just loaded. Press the tick mark to finish the generic model. Change the dimensions of the profile according to the requirement. Create 2 more generic models. Create a sweep blend and for the path select the line. For the Profile 1 and Profile 2 select the same profile that we just loaded. Select the tick mark to finish off the model. Create a sweep blend in the same way with the second line. Hold the side and in the Properties panel assign an angle parameter to the Profile 1. Similarly, create an angle parameter for the Profile 2. I interchanged the angles for the profile 1 and 2 because I wanted to allot the angle 1 to the lower profile in order to be able to go around in a clockwise manner. Hold the arc model and create an angle parameter for it too. Ang3 is equal to Ang2 but in the opposite direction, so right Ang2 is equal to minus of Ang3. Similarly, create Ang4 and Ang5 for the last model. And right angle 4 is equal to angle 3. Try different values for all the angles to create interesting shapes for the gate. Create a new project file in which this model will be loaded. At level 1, place a few reference planes at equal distance by placing an aligned dimension between them and pressing the equal symbol. Place a plane perpendicular to these planes. Place an aligned dimension between the two planes and assign a parameter, so that we can change the distance between the planes. Place the component at the intersection of lines and align the center of the model with the two planes. Hold the component and press Array and select Linear Array option. Click at the front line and then at the second line and write the number of components in the box. Change the value of distance between the components. Components do not move with the planes as we did not lock the components to the planes. So lock the first two components to the ref planes. Adjust the distance. Hold all the components and ungroup. Go back to the file and assign a material parameter to the models and also change all the angle parameters to instance parameters. Make the material and width and height parameters type parameters. Hold the component and assign material in the Edit Types box. This will assign material to all the components as the material is a type parameter. Hold each component and change the angle values. Try different combinations to get a different shape each time.